Judging a person does not define who they are. It defines who you are. Good afternoon, my name is Aisha, and I am here to talk about a very serious problem: discrimination. Discrimination has been going on for far too long, and we have to do something about it now. There are so many types of discrimination, such as racism, sexism, ageism, and religion. Now, those are the most common types of discrimination. However, there are many other types of discrimination that people often don't realize or think about, such as ableism, which is when people who have a disability get discriminated against. Over 99% of people are going to face discrimination in their lifetime, and that is a worldwide stat. So many people have had to deal with discrimination, and I was one of them. One day in class, I sneezed, and a classmate told me that he was allergic to people from my country. Later that day, I went home crying to my mother, and I told her what had happened. So she wrote a letter to my teacher, and when he got the letter, he talked to the principal, and that day he talked to the whole class about bullying and discrimination. Now, that was a horrible thing that happened to me. Some discrimination is very blatant, like name-calling, physical abuse, and denied access to education or job opportunities. But some forms of discrimination is more blatant. For example, people who are disabled and or with mobility difficulties have to face discrimination every day, and no one realizes how hard it is to not be able to get through aisles or go to schools or places that do not have an elevator. Not only that, but in some countries, bus drivers think that it's too much work, so they don't even stop for them. In the 2000s, school boards were going to make sure that by 2017, all schools in Hamilton were going to be accessible for children with disabilities. However, to this day, not all schools are, because even the school that I attend was unable to accept the registration of a kid that was in a wheelchair, because her class was going to be on the second floor and we do not have an elevator. Canadians with disabilities are more likely to live in poverty. Rates of violence and abuse are among the highest for people with disabilities in any group in the Canadian society. The worst part is that not many people realize this and do not do anything. That is just one in the many types of discrimination that are buried in the world that no one pays enough attention to. It's time to stop sitting around and to make a change, to get more people on this mission of making the world a safe place for anyone, and for everyone to be accepted, because we only have one life to live, and everyone should have the same quality of life, no matter where they are from, how they look, what they believe, or whether they face a physical challenge or cognitive challenge. Governments and policymakers need to pay more attention to make sure people are not discriminated against. My only goal here is for everyone to understand that we are all human and no one is better than anyone. Before I go, I would like to ask you all something. What can you do to defend against discrimination?
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your experiences on such a far-reaching and important issue.